Chillin' with Larry Megan.
Bird of old. Wow. Listen, tonight, guys, we're chilling with Larry Megan on a Thursday night. Very exciting. We're an hour earlier than normal at 9 p.m., and I did that for my good friend Tim Worley. He's our special guest tonight. Lots to talk about. Let's get him in here right away. Tim, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Brother Megan. How you doing?
Great, Tim. Great. I hope you're watching. I hope you've got a computer set up. We showed that little clip of you ripping it up at Georgia.
Yeah, I'm watching right now. I'm looking at that handsome picture that you got up right now.
Listen, man, I told you about 2 years ago, the last time you and I did a show together was almost a couple years ago now. It's close to 2 years. And I've got those, remember those brochures that we made up for you way back in about 1989? I've got those in my storage locker out there in California in Rancho Cucamonga. And I remember, there's probably about a couple hundred of them there, and they would be like real collector's pieces. We got great pictures of you there, but I don't have any here. And
right. I remember the whole routine there when they was putting the makeup on me and taking pictures in a tennis outfit and suit and a tie and all this stuff. And
yeah, we should.
I was kind of fighting it, but it paid off.
And we even shaved your mustache, and I still think I hold the record as the only guy in the world that ever got you to shave your mustache.
Well, I was young then, 22 years old, and that thing had just came in real good. I didn't want to get rid of it,
I know. Hey, it grew back pretty quick, Tim. But those were some great days. We'll reminisce a little bit. You really can't wait to get into, what you're into right now. And listen, we've got a nice little crowd already brewing out there right now. And already we have a caller on the line. So before we even get into anything, I have somebody out there right now that wants to say hello to you. It's, I'm not going to tell you who it is. Let's see if you can guess who it is. Caller, you're on the show. Welcome to the show.
Hey, I appreciate that, Larry. Hey, Tim, what's going on, man?
Man, this is Darrell Hopper. I know Hop, but I know your voice from anywhere, brother. What's happening, my brother?
How you doing, man?
Man, I am blessed. I cannot complain. I wouldn't complain, Hop, even if I could, man.
Absolutely. I heard you were doing some good things out there, man. I was talking to Larry, and he told me about the things that you're doing down south, man. I just wanted to hear your voice, man, and give a shout out to you, brother, for doing the things that you're doing, man. All is well. Tell me a little bit about what's happening, man.
Well, Dale, I appreciate it in the first place. First of all, man, I'm just working. I'm working with the human condition, man. I'm working for humanity, man, and I'm doing a lot of work with the youth at right now. But one of the things, man, that God showed me, man, in this journey, He gave me a serious gift to speak, and to be honest with you, and Larry I told Larry this last time we talked. I said one of my biggest fears was to stand up and talk in front of people. You know what I mean? And that was a lie from the enemy, man. But that's what I'm doing now, man. I have my own business now, motivational speaking business and a consulting business. And also I work for the Boys and Girls Club as a spokesperson and a mentor coordinator. And
now, are you ordained? Not to interrupt, but are you ordained now too, man?
No, I'm not ordained. I tell you what, Hop, man, I see somewhere down the line that calling, but that's one of those gifts. That's one of those things where I would not step into unless I directly hear from God. You know what I mean?
Right.
And what I do, everything we do, my wife and I, with our business, is biblical based. And one thing I will do, I will stand on the word of God until I die. And that's what we're doing. We're just teaching, man. We're teaching people, whoever wants to listen, because, I got a story to tell. And it ain't just for athletes. It's just for the human condition, man. And I learned from my mistakes.
That's right. Well, Tim, the one thing, man, that we were put on this earth to do, we had a chance to do it, and we had a chance, man, to enjoy some things that a lot of people in the world wish they would have, had just half the chance, man, to do some of the things that we were blessed to do. That's, play in the NFL, go to a major college, man, get a chance to see the world and all that good stuff. But, in our lifetime, man, we put on this earth, I believe, for a reason, a specific reason. That's something we were blessed with. That talent we were blessed with, man. And that's something right there. We gave back. We put on the show, man, for a lot of the folks, man, on Saturdays and Sundays. But our real, I think what indicates, man, the things that we do in life, man, comes across, man, through life itself. You know what I'm saying? Our life skills, man, giving back, man, the things that we had to learn, without that special talent that we were blessed with. Right. I mean, that was something we were just blessed. We can't really. I'm having a hard time putting this into words, but to keep it simple, man, the things that we've been through, man, we have to spread that word, man, and try to help these kids coming up, man. It's hard, brother. It was hard. We came up, man. It's twice and three times as hard now, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Because Go ahead, Hot.
No, go ahead.
And I was going to say, because the generation today, man, they're tough, and one of the things that I tell the young people today, teenagers and even young people in their 20s, man, we grew up in the simple times, and these kids today, man, I tell you, I have a much respect for them, because number one, I tell them I wouldn't want to be a teenager today, because there's so much that they can get into.
Right, I'm sorry, man. It's different, brother. It's definitely different.
And I tell people all the time, I say, when I was growing up, we had 3 channels, with the rabbit ears on top of it. But when the rabbit ears got knocked off and from throwing the ball in the house, they put aluminum foil on top of that thing. And let me tell you something. So back then, we had 3 stations marketing us back then. Now these kids, turn on the TV, man. They got over 800 stations marketing them, man. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And it's starting from pop water.
Exactly.
I'm seeing, I'm seeing things that I never would have believed I'd see, in this day and age, man. Especially from the, starting from the 7-year-olds in the little pop one, the clinic leagues, man, all the way up through the midgets and in high school. These guys are getting recruited, man, out of the junior All-Americans, man. They start, and that's a lot of pressure, man, for a kid. But these kids these days, man, I don't think they have enough guidance, man. They don't really know how to accept the fact that, we had to come up the hard way, but they don't see it as that. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the social realm, man, has declined so much because everybody is just pushing buttons, man. There's no social interaction amongst the human beings. You know what I'm saying? Everything is on computer. Everything is on texting and through the websites, man, and emails and stuff, man. We have to get back, man, to bringing congregations together, man, so these kids can be able to interact.
Hey,
so
Tim,
Darrell, you know what I'm saying?
Darrell, let me jump in here, guys. Just because I know you guys haven't really caught up that much. I'm in touch with both of you. Just imagine anybody out there watching the show. We were 3 of us. We were living together in 2004. I was with both of you guys. That was some fun times in 2004. But
absolutely.
Tim, Darrell, your oldest daughter, she's isn't she playing varsity ball at North Carolina?
Yeah, she's actually on the she's on the volleyball team at North Carolina State. She's the Wolfpack, man. Her name is Darrell Hopper.
Wow.
Tim, you need to look her up, man. She's
man, I did not know that.
Yeah, she's a freshman this past year, man. She started, man. She did her thing out there, man, and you know, she made a few of the little freshman teams, and she's looking forward to a great sophomore year. You know, she's getting good grades, man. She's maintaining a certain GPA, which I'm so proud of her, man, because I think that's the one thing, man, that I've always insisted on. You know, you have to keep the grades right, and don't take it for granted that, you know, this opportunity that you have, you know, is going to be something that you're going to get, you know, throughout life. You have to take advantage of it right now. You know what I'm saying? Because and don't think you're going, okay, a lot of kids, you know, like we did that. You know, we wanted to go back and get our degrees and stuff, and we could have just had that momentum and just go on straight through, man, the 4 or 5 or 6 years, however long it takes, you know, whatever type of degree that you're trying to get. But I tell all the time, man, just you know, just maintain, baby, and do your thing and enjoy it. Enjoy the ride, because it's definitely a once in a lifetime thing. You got to seize that moment, and I'm just proud of her, brother. So when you get a chance, I know you're back down south. You got to look her up, man, and go down there and check her out, bro.
So that's awesome. You know, my home state is North Carolina, so I know a lot of people around the Raleigh, North Carolina area. So
yeah. You got to go down there and check her out. Too. Matter of fact, I'm trying to a friend of mine, a guy named Joe Cormier, who went to SC with me. That's USC, not South Carolina. For those listeners who's listening, this is USC. I'm on the West Coast.
Yeah.
You know,
the original
for what it's
SC.
worth. You know what's happening. I'm a Trojan, brother. So
that's right.
Yeah. So we're trying to have another friend of mine, man, named Joe Cormier. His daughter, her name is Megan, and she's coming from the West Coast too, and she's going to North Carolina State this year. She'll be a freshman. So what we're trying to do, man, is get a few of the fellows down here, man, and take like a little cross country tour, man, in the mobile home, man, and come down south, man, you know, and you know, relax and take a little mini vacation for a couple of weeks while they're playing their tournaments, you know, and you know, hopefully when I get a chance to see you when we do that.
Man, when y'all do that, y'all just let me know, Hop. I'll definitely exchange numbers. I don't think you have my new number. I switched phones, and we need to do that, man. We need to do that.
Okay, well, you know what? I'll get your number from Larry. You know, okay. Hey, Larry.
Hey, I'll get it to you, Darrell. But listen, when you come to meet up with Tim, you better be bringing a full bag of lobsters now.
Oh shit! Excuse me. Hey, is this XT? Is this X radio we talking about? Can we use a few? A little custard, not a lot.
Live stream on the internet.
Tim, do you remember when Darrell got a little bent out of shape when you ate up his lobsters?
Oh man,
yeah, I remember that.
Hey, you remember that, man? Yeah,
man, I was
three nice big 8 or 9 pound lobsters, man, and me and Larry take off, man, and take a little trip down south, and we come back, man, and. God damn, Tim
Darrell was looking forward to making a lobster gumbo, lobsters. And when he came back, it was gone. Oh my God, that was hysterical.
I was going through it at the time, fellas.
It's cool, Tim. It's cool. It was fun, man. Those were some fun times, man.
Yeah,
I said,
those were some good times.
Got an appetite, shit.
Yeah, I don't eat like that no more, man.
Hey, you're in good shape now. You know, listen, we've got some pictures here, Tim, of you and your kids, Brandon and Taylor. And of course, I remember them when they were just so tiny, you know, so little. And it looks like Brandon's as big as you now.
Well, Brandon's 6'5", and he's about 245, 250. And he's actually he's a sophomore. He just finished his sophomore year at Georgia State. But he's transferring from Georgia State. He just got a scholarship in audio engineering at the School of Arts in Atlanta, Georgia. And my daughter is a senior, just coming rising senior in high school this year. And she's in the poetry and photography, man, and she's doing real good. I'm very proud of my kids. Matter of fact, I don't use the word proud. I'm very pleased with my kids. Very pleased. Good kids, man. Thank you. And you know, my wife and I, Dee, we having some more kids are not out of the picture. I mean, I'm not too old. I still got a whole lot of cracks, snapple and pop up in me now. You know,
Tim, now, come on now. You know, we have to put you on some type of these, you know, we have to get you some sponsors, man, for some of these cats on TV. You plan on having some more kids, man.
Darrell,
let me tell you, man. I'm strictly by the power of God. I don't need those chemicals.
It's true. Darrell, you have not seen Tim in action. It's night and day. It's incredible. I every morning at 4 o'clock, Tim starts putting messages. I love your messages, Tim, and I'm so happy you're on the show this week. We're going to talk a little bit after Darrell gets off the phone. But those messages, man, they help a lot of people. I know they help me, man. They're very inspirational, and you got to see him speak, Darrell. I know you're not looking at a computer right now, but you know, if you get home to the computer or whatever, we're going to show a video clip of Tim, just a little bit in action, not the full-blown thing, but it's going to blow your mind, Darrell. I'm telling you, it's going to blow your mind.
Tim has always been, Larry, Tim's a wise guy. You know, he's a wise man, man. He's very intelligent.
We know that.
Though sometimes, you know, it may not seem that way. You know, we know it. You know, some of the things we do, some things we did, you know, weren't the private things, and you know, in life. But you know, I know he holds a lot of a lot of wisdom, man, up in that brain of his, and I'm glad he put it to good use. You know, and,
absolutely.
Yeah. So what I'm doing is I'm looking forward to looking at the video, man, and you know, and actually seeing it in person too, man, sometime this year. So
that's right. Look,
you know what, fellas? Hey, Larry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I have such short time, man. But you and Tim, man, I love you guys, man. I got to get up out of here and take care of a few things. But it was good talking to you both, and hope I see you both soon. Okay?
Absolutely, Hop.
Likewise, Darrell, man. It's great talking to you. Love you too, brother.
Okay.
And
I love
Larry,
you guys,
give
man.
You my
I love you guys.
Yep. Okay.
Absolutely.
Peace, brother.
Okay.
Take care,
okay,
Darrell.
All
right.
now.
Take care. Woo! Well, there was it. Was that a surprise?
Yeah, that was a big surprise. As you know, I know Hop's voice from anywhere. Actually, it reminded me of the first time, I think it was 02, Larry, when I came out there and we did the studio show.
Right.
Remember? And
yeah,
Hop and I did the show together.
We did Pigskin Chronicles. I remember.
Yes.
You know, it's funny because all the guys that I knew seemed to, you know, have problems, you know, in the league, and you know, of course, I think you led the league, but in any case, you know, those were different times back then, Tim, and I know that's a big part of your story now. But you know, for those that don't know Tim's story, and I'm going to let you, you know, basically tell the story, Tim. But I just want to bring you know, some of the people up to date who may not know your story.
Okay.
You know, first of all, you know, you played your high school ball, Lumberton High School, and at one time, Tim, I had all of those statistics. You know, I think you had one game where you ran for like 400 yards or something like that, and you were a high school All-American. You were recruited by every college in the country. I think in 1984, you won the Junior Olympics in the 100-meter sprint at a 10.27, if I'm not mistaken. You know, so you ended up going to Georgia. You were a Georgia Bulldog. You were going to be the next Herschel Walker, really. And you had a tremendous career, but it wasn't without, you know, struggle. You know, you had a knee injury. You had to go, you know, rehab. But where was it? Up in Oklahoma somewhere, Northeast Oklahoma State or something like that. And then you came back to Georgia. And I believe it was your junior year that you were runner-up for the All-American to Barry Sanders, correct?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, 1988. And what's interesting about that was, you know, Barry won the Heisman and you came in second, yet...
Actually,
go ahead.
Actually, I think I finished 5th or 6th. I don't think it was 2nd.
Oh, was it? But yeah. But the interesting part about that was that Barry Sanders, if I remember correctly, he went 4th in the draft to the Detroit Lions, who was it 3rd or 4th?
It was 3rd.
Was it 3rd? Well, my memory's going now, but they were kind of hinting that they were going to take you. The Lions were going to take you. They ended up switching at the last minute, going with Sanders. You went to the Steelers on the 7th pick, but you got more money than Barry Sanders at the 7th pick from notoriously one of the cheapest organizations in pro football. And again, that's 1989. That's before the 93 CBA, when, you know, it wasn't as, you know, fluid as it is today with the money.
Yeah.
And you got...
Go figure.
Yeah. And, of course, you got more money. You were the first rookie to, you know, lead the Steelers in yards gained since Franco Harris, and you did that in '89. But, you know, you got your career off to a little bit of a rocky start. You fumbled 3 times in the first game. You remember that?
Yes, Lord, I do.
Tell us a little bit about that. What happened in that first game, Tim?
Well, actually, you know, we'll get to some of the stuff that you were talking about. But, you know, Larry, you know the whole story. I set out of camp. I set out of most of training camp. I think I missed the first couple of weeks of training camp. And being that number one guy coming in, was trying to negotiate a solid contract coming in at number 7 overall. And actually, a lot of people don't know this. I was the first rookie in Steeler history to have a signing bonus for $1 million.
Yeah, I absolutely know that. I think the only other rookie running back to get $1 million signing bonus was Freeman McNeill. You were the second, I believe.
Right, exactly, with the Jets. And
right.
You got this kid, and really the kid that they have now, Rashard Mendenhall, that's the first running back they drafted in the first round since me in 1989, and they drafted him, I think, in 2010 or was it 2010 that they drafted him, or 09? So you're looking at 20-plus years. But, coming in that season in 1989, you got to, when you come into camp, you got to be ready. I was in physical condition, but I wasn't in football shape, you know what I mean, timing and everything. And Chuck Noll was just one of those old school cats, you know what I mean? And I have the utmost respect for this man. He taught me a whole lot, but he's just one of those old school guys. You coming in making this kind of money, you first round, you getting in and play. You're going to learn, you're going to make mistakes, get on in there and play. And I can remember, man, playing against the Cleveland Browns, my timing was off, and I think I fumbled it. Yeah, I did. I fumbled the ball 3 times, and Cleveland Browns beat us like 58-3. I mean, I was just horrified. And that was my first debut as a football player in the city of Pittsburgh. And, it didn't feel good getting booed at the time, being the number one guy. You know what I mean? That was a lot of pressure. Mm-hmm. But I was able to turn it around, Larry. I was able to turn things around.
You sure did.
Catch up with the speed of the game. And, I just had to make some adjustments and get focused. And we ended up going to the playoffs that year, and I ended up having a solid year as a rookie.
Yeah.
And so I was very pleased with that 89 season.
If I remember, didn't you get to the AFC Championship game that year?
Yes, we did. We ended up playing. We beat the Houston Oilers. Then we went over to Denver, and we lost to Denver in the fourth quarter.
Right.
And that was a heartbreaker. But that was some serious competition that year.
And I remember in the off season, I spent a lot of time with you in that off season between '89 and '90. And the prospects for the Steelers were just sky high. You guys had won 8 out of the last 9 games. You went into the playoffs on fire. You got to the championship game, 1 game from the Super Bowl, and Bubby, finished very strong. Bubby Brister, you were on an absolute tear. And everybody thought 1990 this was going to be the year of the Steelers, but so many things went downhill in 1990. Not just for you, but for Bubby too. He got injured. You got injured. I had my own personal stories to tell of that whole episode. Remember, we were putting together a big TV show, and man, there was all kinds of things going on there. But in any case, get to your story, Tim? What took place? I mean, you at that time looked like you were on a track to be All-Pro, Hall of Fame. I mean, you had that kind of talent. What got in the way?
Well, I'll tell you what got in the way, and I'm the type of person, I don't sugarcoat anything, and I don't water it down. And, I'm free today, so I can talk about stuff, and the more I talk about it, the more it frees me up as a human being. I got caught up in the fast lifestyle. I got caught up in the drug scene, the alcohol scene, the chasing the skirt scene, the females. I just got caught up in that whole lifestyle. And it was right there. I mean, it wasn't nothing that I had to pay for, wasn't nothing that I had to struggle to, wasn't nothing that I had to really pursue. It was right there. It was right there. So I was like, to me, as I look back now, I was basically a target. And I fell for it. The enemy put that bait out there, and I fell for it. And the enemy came through different people, mainly women, guys, And I just got caught up, Larry. I started messing around with cocaine, sniffing cocaine. Started partying more, and my concern was more with things off the field than things on the field. Football became secondary to me instead of primary. You know what I mean? And my focus wasn't there. And I figured, when I first got there, I took my foot off the gas. I was telling a gentleman this a while back. After my rookie year, I literally took my foot off the gas because, with the status that I had, being a first-round pick, the type of player that I was, my size, my speed, I figured, okay, I can just do this thing on just raw natural ability. But in the NFL, it's not like college. It's more mental. than physical because everybody's good. And you got to study film. You got to be prepared because any day, any Sunday, man, these cats, if you're slipping, they'll knock your head off. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And Larry, I wasn't focused. I took my foot off the gas. I said, I've arrived. I'm a first-round pick. I'm this, I'm that. All right, I'm going to chill out. But, you know, that was a big mistake. That was a big mistake. And all of a sudden, you know, I started getting hurt. And I know the reason why I was getting hurt. You know, when you're abusing cocaine, when you're abusing alcohol, injuries, when you do sustain injuries, you understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It takes that much longer to recover. You know, it takes that much longer to recover. And I found myself after my rookie year, I was the type of player, I reacted. You know what I mean? I reacted. I couldn't tell you what I was going to do on the field, but I was going to make it happen. I was going to hit you in the mouth. I was going to run 40 miles an hour, you know, whatever. But I started thinking too much. I was thinking too much about what I was doing. And when you think too much, you miss a step. When you think too much, you get caught slipping and you get hurt. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let me ask you a question, Tim, because you know I spent some time with you in those days, and what impact would you say your college buddies had? I know you had some people around you up in Pittsburgh. You know, I mean, I don't know if they're still your friends today or whatever, but you know, you were paying the way for all these guys. I mean, you were giving them access to airplane flights all around the country and cars and automobiles and all that kind of stuff. You know, because I remember that very clearly. How did that factor in?
Well, I'll tell you, you know, when you're making money, especially when you're making money like that, you're going to draw people in that don't even you don't even know, especially people that are your friends. They look at you different. You know, a lot of people say, "Well, you changed." No, I didn't change. You just saw me different because you saw dollar signs. You understand? And I was the type of person, Larry, I was a passive person. And you probably picked up on it. I got a big heart, still do, Larry. You know, I'd do anything for anybody. You know?
I know.
But I had to learn to have an inner restraint because I was just putting myself out there, just giving, but giving to the point where it began to hurt me, and it wasn't wise to just keep giving like I was giving because the people that I was giving to, they didn't respect me. They didn't care about me. They saw me as a cash machine. Now, with that said, I also want to say this. I don't point the finger at nobody.
Right.
I don't point the finger at my buddies. My so-called buddies at the time. I don't point the finger at nobody. I don't point the finger at the guy behind the bar that was pouring me the alcohol shot. I don't point the finger at the guy that was giving me the cocaine. I made that decision. I made that choice. And that choice came back and bit me all up in the gooch. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so I don't do that. But I found out, you know, that I was a passive person. I was a people pleaser. And I wanted people to like me. So even to the point where it was kind of detrimental to me. I wanted people to like me, and the people that I know that wasn't good for me, I had them around because I wanted people to like me. You know what I mean? Mm. So that's what happened, Larry. So I had people around me that would never tell me no. You know, people around me just, you know, I'm getting in trouble, but, you know, they're right there with me. You know, they're around me, never telling me no, telling me, you know, everything that I want to hear instead of the things that I need to hear. Mm-hmm. And so I began to see that. And even with all the trouble that came, Larry, I still didn't know how to say no. I went through seasons where I just didn't know how to say no. Mm-hmm. I didn't know how to say no. And all I was doing was building anger. When you suppress things the way I did, all you're doing is just building. And when it explodes, it's like an atomic bomb. And that's what you saw happen to me about 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. I exploded. I got to a point where, and we'll get into that, I got to a point where you couldn't even look at me the right way without me swinging at you. Mm-hmm. The wrong way without me swinging at you. And I was, you know, the things that I went through, death in my family, death to my two brothers, you know, broke, busted, and disgusted, divorce, living back home with my parents, you know. I went through a whole season where I just wanted to disappear. Mm-hmm. Either I was going to kill somebody or somebody was going to kill me.
Wow. I remember, going back to, I think it was 92, I think was the year that you got suspended from the NFL for a whole year for cocaine.
Yes.
And I thought to myself that's it. You were done with the NFL. But to my surprise, you came back. And I was very surprised. I remember I came down and met you in San Diego on a Sunday night game. And I remember saying, Tim, I didn't think you were going to make it back, but you did. And, but I guess it wasn't, maybe it was fool's gold. I don't know. But tell me a little bit about that, about being kicked out for a year, what that meant to you, and then coming back from that and how that factored in.
Well, the first time, I failed a drug test. I had a trace of cocaine in my urine sample in 1991 training camp. And that's when that happens back then, that suspect, you automatically go into a program. And I think it was, let me see, a 30-day, whatever, or maybe the first time nobody really knows about it. You just go into a program, you start seeing a therapist or whatever, have you going to meetings and stuff. And of course, I didn't think I had a problem. I was just having fun. The first step to healing is admitting it, right?
Right.
Is that what they say? Okay. I didn't want to admit it at the time because I was having too much fun. But anyway, that automatically put me in the system where I was taking drug tests once a week. I had to meet with the people once a week and give us a sample to be tested. Okay, now, one time I missed the test. Twice I missed the test. Now, my first suspension came is when I missed the test. That was an automatic suspension because when you don't show up, that's an automatic positive. Okay, and I got suspended for I think 6 games or so,
right.
Like that, 4 or 6 games, and then we went on. I completed the program, and I'm still thinking I can get out and do the same things that I was doing. But I was just, I just didn't think I had a problem. I was just having fun, but I found myself doing things knowing that I had a test the next day. I found myself still doing the same stuff, trying to figure out ways where I could beat the test, do something different where I wouldn't get caught. Now, that's the insanity of it, and I figured, okay, I got a problem. Knowing that I have a drug screening tomorrow, and here I am using drugs and consuming alcohol. And so I didn't show up for the second one. Guess what? That was an automatic year suspension. And at the time,
you were making $1 million a year at that time.
Yeah, I was on up there in the yearly salary, but and that knocked me out for a whole year, man. And you're talking about ashamed and embarrassed, but even through all the shame and embarrassment and all this stuff, deep down, I didn't think I had a problem. I thought, okay, this is just a phase. I'll get through this. But when I actually was forced to go to treatment, I was able to discover some things that were in me that I was dealing with that had absolutely nothing to do with drugs and alcohol, but it had something to do with just my makeup, just iniquities, things that I wasn't able to deal with, things that I experienced as a child, and it was a cover-up.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I found out. And that's when I began to say, okay, maybe I do need to take a look at this thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I began to really, really, really start to pay attention. And, I wanted to get back so bad, Larry. I wanted to get back so bad. I was willing to do whatever I had to do. I worked my butt off to get back to the Steelers in 1993.
Right.
Because I remember, in 1992, I sabotaged 1992.
Yeah.
Bill Cowher had came in. Chuck Noll had just retired. Bill Cowher had just took the head coaching job. And one of the things that he did, he called me into his office, and we sat down and talked, and he told me, I'm going to surround the offense around you. I'm going to give you the ball 25-plus times a game. I know your style. I know how you did it at Georgia. You hadn't had an opportunity to do that here. We're going to give it to you. And you know what? I got so happy. I got so happy. You know what my character did, Larry? It pressed the sabotage buttons.
Wow.
It pressed the sabotage button. What was my sabotage button? Cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
Cocaine. Felt so good, I felt like I had to go out and celebrate. I hope somebody listening and getting this stuff had to go out and celebrate, you know? And guess what it did? Got suspended, and I blew it. And my partner, Barry Foster, God bless him, good man, he seized the opportunity and had 2 or 3 dynamite seasons. I mean, with that season in 1992, Barry Foster rushed for 1,600 yards.
Yeah.
You know, and I looked at myself, I was disgusted with myself. But it was the character, Larry. It was my character. Character to me is just not being able to handle responsibilities. And the higher you go, you know, if that character's not in check, you're going to blow it. You're going to press the sabotage button.
Mm-hmm.
Because the higher you go, the more responsibility. And I was always told, the higher you go, the more your rear end people can see.
Well, you know, you did make it back, and I know there was some more, you know, back and forth. You came back, and when you did come back into the league, you were kind of in the Pittsburgh doghouse. So they gave you a new lease on life and traded you to the Bears. And then there was more issues there. But let's try and bring it a little bit full circle, you know, beyond your NFL career. It wasn't until well after your NFL career was over that you had some kind of an epiphany and a turning point. Isn't that right?
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. I had in 2000, you know, just say when my career was over, that's when things really kind of went down here for me. And you know, I told myself, I said, this is over, and I'm glad it's over. I can do what I want to do now. I don't have to answer to anybody. That's the way I was thinking. And I actually left the game. I was a bit bitter when I left the game. And you know who I was bitter at, Larry? I was bitter at Tim Worley, because I knew I didn't give it 100%. I knew that I blew every opportunity that I had. You know, a lot of people always say, hey, man, you shoulda, coulda, woulda. Yeah, I could have played 12 years, 13, 14 years. But you know what? I didn't. You know why? Because I pressed the sabotage buttons. You know why? Because I made bad choices, you know? Mm-hmm. And so I went through those seasons where I'm home now, you know. I don't know what to do with myself. I didn't prepare for after football. I always thought there was something that was going to go on forever. But we all know that that's a lie. The NFL stands for not for long. But anyway.
That's right.
But, you know, and the NFL gave me the biggest opportunity, but I blew it. You know what I mean? And so here I am trying to fit into a normal lifestyle. I'm trying to be normal. And ever since the 4th grade, I've been traveling all over the country, doing things, competing. Now at 29 and a half years old, 30 years old, it's all done. What do you do when the cheering stops, Brother Megan? What do you do?
Man, that's tough.
I know Tim Worley didn't know what to do. And guess what? I just went on a rampage of just spending, drinking, using drugs, and just being a wild man. And I can't say I didn't care. I was just lost. I didn't know who I was. I thought my only identity, Larry, was an athlete. Mm-hmm. And without that, I didn't think I was anything. But you know what, man? I ended up moving back from Chicago to Atlanta in 1999, and I ended up separating, getting a divorce, and going back to North Carolina. And I remember I got a hold of the NFL, and they set it up where I could go out to one of the treatment centers that I had visited before. And when I did that, that's when God gave me a vision. I had an epiphany. He gave me a vision, and I saw some things. I saw some things that terrified me, you know, but then I saw some things that brought joy to me. Mm-hmm. And that vision was, I saw myself, Larry. I saw myself in front of thousands of people, you know, speaking on a stage. I saw it, and God showed me some things, man, and this is deep. He showed me things that was going to go down in the meantime before I got to that point. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And in 2000, you know, I rededicated my life to the Lord. But did that mean that I had stopped completely doing what I was doing? No, it didn't, because I was immature, and I thought that, okay, you know, I can still mess around a little bit, but see, God don't operate like that. But also I understand that, you know, this whole thing is a process.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to a point, Larry, where God just He delivered me, but I kept dabbling in it. And see, that's where we need to understand as people, as Christians, and what God will deliver you, but you got to stand in that deliverance. Temptation is going to always come to you. What are you going to do with it?
Mm-hmm.
You have to have an inner restraint. I have an inner restraint now, Larry, that I didn't have before. You know, I had outside restraint. You know, people had to restrain me from the outside. But see, now I know not to touch that stove. If my wife say, Tim, that stove is hot, I know not to touch that stove. I know not to speed anymore in my car. I know not to drink anymore. I know not to do drugs anymore. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
All these things that I know better now. And and I have a control, and that comes from God and God only.
That's awesome, Tim. That's incredible. On that note, we're going to take a quick break. Don't go away. A lot more to come. I got even a little surprise for you, Tim. But
okay.
Ronnie, we got a break ready? All right, just a quick 1-minute break. We'll be right back.
Chill with Larry Megan.
ZuluTimeZone.com is the first and only authorized dealer for Offshore Limited in the United States. ZuluTimeZone.com is proud to support Chillin' with Larry Megan and Acorn TV. Use the discount coupon code DAD to receive an additional $20 off per item. ZuluTimeZone.com digs Chillin' with Larry Megan.
Chill with Larry Megan.
We are back. We're chilling tonight with my old friend Tim Worley. And Tim, as usual, I'm just glued on every word. And I wanted you to do this show tonight because I wanted to seek a little bit of, I'm going through a little bit of a tough time myself, Tim. And you're the most inspirational guy I know. And, you know, to me, you are an example of an inspiration. And it really helps me at a time like this. But without getting into that and getting deeper into your story here, I want to just take a moment. We've got, I think it's about, is it 4 minutes, Ronnie, or 5 minutes? 4.5 minutes, something like that. We've got a little clip here, Tim. I lifted off of your website, and it's just you in action here, but it's not you like in front of all the kids. It looks like some kind of it's a combination there where it looks like you're in a little private gathering, and you can tell us what that is. As a matter of fact, before we show the clip, let's show everybody Tim's website. It's WorleyGlobalEnterprises.com, and this is his website right here. That's him and Dee, of course, his beautiful wife. And there's the website address right there, www.WorleyGlobalEnterprises.com. I recommend everybody go check it out. Click on all the links there. Click on all the different menus and navigate. Go to the Worley in Action section and just watch the videos that Tim has. It is amazing. And man, I'm proud to call you my friend, Tim. But anyway, we lifted a little video. Let's take a look at that, get a little taste of what Tim is doing with his life these days. Check it out.
I'm so excited, and because I see what God is doing. I don't see all of it, but I see some of it. And you know, in the Hebrew language, there's no such thing as the word coincident. There's no coincidence. This is not a coincidence. The four horsemen, what's happening here in the spirit with Pulpwood Smith. This is not a coincidence. We talked about this stuff years ago. We were prophesying when we didn't even know it. God was preparing us on the battlefield. When you read in the Bible, it talks about putting on that whole armor. He was preparing us when we was putting on that helmet and those shoulder pads and those thigh pads and those cleats. We went out to battle, but we didn't know it was going to be a spiritual battle in the long run. So God knows exactly what he's doing. Me and Lars Tate used to sit and talk about this thing so many times. And, you know, I used to look at Lars and I say, man, God got his hands on you, Lars. God's got his hands on you. And Pulpwood, I told you this today. I said, man, and this is with everybody. Jesus said, in this world you will have tribulation. He didn't say it was going to be easy, but he said, be of good cheer. I've overcome the world. He said, in me you shall have peace. You understand? He didn't say it was going to be easy. It's not easy at times. It's not easy to walk in the Spirit at times, you know. I got saved when I was a little boy. I stayed in the church when I was a little boy. I remember getting saved, 12 years old, you know. Train up a child in the way he should go, Proverbs 22:6, and when he's old, he won't depart, right? Now, does that mean we're not going to make mistakes? No, no. I went out and made a lot of mistakes. A lot of mistakes. And what I found out in my mistakes were God began to reveal to me in my adversity who I was in him. Because we got to be broken first. We can't really receive anything when we're on the mountaintop. I can't speak for these brothers here, but when I was carrying that football, I wanted the glory. Yeah, I know Jesus, but I'm going to put you to the side right now. I want the glory. You understand what I'm saying? But when you belong to God, in his timing, he's going to tap you on the shoulder. He's going to come and get you. And with that, a lot of prayers. Got a praying mother. Got praying brothers. Got a praying family. Got a praying wife. Ain't she beautiful? Yeah. You guys ought to hear that story. You guys need to hear this story. Me and this woman here met in 1988, competing in the Olympics, for the Olympic trials in 1988, gymnasts. We're on campus, summer school, training, getting ready for the 88 season. I always had to go to summer school, so don't charge it to my head, the heart charge it to my head. I was young and foolish back then. We ain't always been sanctified, come on now. But anyway, we met in 88, started dating over the phone. Saw this little gymnast in the gym after working out one time. I'm trying to impress her while she impressing me, you know what I mean? Started communicating over the phone, started dating over the phone. We dated for 3 years. She's at Alabama. I'm in Pittsburgh playing with the Steelers. A rookie running wild. Running wild. Tell the truth and shame the devil. Running wild. I was wild. And broke things off because I was running wild. I didn't want to expose her to a lot of stuff that I was dealing with. I was like a loose cannon. Here I am, a man that just signed a multi-million-dollar contract and not really grounded in anything. I knew of Jesus, but I didn't have a relationship with him. And so when you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. You understand what I'm saying? So I began to get into all kinds of stuff that the world told me was going to bring me happiness and joy. The world lied. And I took a big bite out of it. And Pulpwood, you're not alone, brother. And when I took that bite, I couldn't let go. When I wanted to stop doing it, I couldn't stop. It had a hold of me. It had a hold on me. And I wanted to let go, man, but I couldn't. But the only one that could free me from that, and y'all know, is Jesus. He was the only one, but I didn't know that. I seek everything else. I seek drugs. I seek alcohol. I seek things, money, cars, women, everything that the world says is supposed to bring you joy and happiness. It almost killed me. Sitting in the bottom of my basement with a couple $1 million in my bank account, thinking about contemplating suicide because I can't take the pressure. But they say money's supposed to bring you happiness, right? Huh? We were talking today that there's a place in your heart that is reserved for Christ and Christ only. Can't nothing fill that space. And I had to find out for myself the hard way. I had to find out the hard way. It took me going to jail. 23 days. Some of y'all say, well, 23 days ain't nothing, but guess what? You go to jail. I was in Cobb County. Go on over to Cobb County and let them talk to you. In 23 days, 23 days, it took me losing everything. God didn't take it from me, but he allowed it to happen. He didn't go against my will. When God was tapping me on the shoulder, I kept it. We learned that stiff arm, don't we take? We learn how to stiff arm. I was stiff arming Jesus. No, not right now. I'll get it later. When I'm about 50, I'll come and talk to you. You know what I mean? Stiff arming him. But you know what? When you belong to God, and I belong to him, when you belong to God, he's going to come and claim what's his. When you belong to God, he'll expose everything that's not of him and everything that's unrighteous. He laid a pothole in front of me one night. He didn't push me in it. He just let me walk right on into it. And when I did, I went to jail. And when I went to jail, I got on my knees and I said, thank you, Jesus. It's over. And this was almost 3 years ago. I've been saved a long time, but I didn't live saved until 3 years ago. I was living like a heathen. A heathen. But thank God for his grace and mercy. Thank God I didn't surrender until 3 years ago. And one of the things I like to tell the young people, you don't have to go through that. You know, there's a saying that my wife and I have is, it don't take all that. You know what I mean? But guess what? It took that for me. It took that for me. I had to go down. I had to go down. And that's the way the world got it backwards. The world jumps right out, baby, ready to go to the top. In the kingdom, you got to go down before you come up. You got to go down. You got to be dipped. You got to be washed. You understand? And so, where God has me today, sometimes I'm just like, we say I can't believe it, but I do believe it. Because we spoke it. David, Lars, Keith, Andre, we spoke it into existence. We spoke it into existence when we were in our darkest moments, Lars, together. Me and that brother, they're being in battle together. I'm serious battle warfare together. Spiritual warfare, you know, at the bottom of the barrel. But God told the devil to take his foot off our necks. I knew that the 4 horsemen were going to come together again. David McCluskey and I. Woo, let me tell you. David McCluskey and I talked about this. David was my spiritual advisor for a long time. We talked a long time. We talked about this stuff back in 2003. It just wasn't time. I call it God's speed and God's time now. His perfect timing. He's given us I call it a plateau. Platform is stationary. Plateau floats. We're floating now. And Andre, we want you to come on board. Okay? We want you to come on. We never forgot. I never forgot about you. Never. We always talked about it. Even when we were doing dirt, we were talking about Andre Smith. Oh, I'll talk about it. Yeah, we're doing dirt, talking about, man, what old Pulpwood up to? He in that Waffle House? But it's a beautiful thing, and to see these brothers, and it's not just these brothers, it's everybody. My brothers and sisters in Christ. You know what I'm saying? It's a lifestyle. I don't know about you guys, but growing up in North Carolina, I was raised a Presbyterian. My mother was Pentecostal, and my grandfather was a Baptist minister. So I know how to sit still and be quiet. I know how to get down, you know, and I know how to run laps and throw boots in the audience. I got it all. But you know what? We were lied to. We were lied to when we were younger. We were lied to. The world made it look like that being a Christian was boring and you couldn't do anything. I have more freedom and more fun and more joy now than I've ever had in my life at 44 years old. And you know what? It's by the grace of God. It's Jesus. He gets the glory, not Tim Worley. And I just want to say, man, it is an honor to be here tonight and to support you for the rest of my life, Andre. I love you. You're not in this thing by yourself. We're all in this. We're all a part of the body. We're here. I want to communicate with you more, and we're going to see this thing through together. Okay? In the name of Jesus. So I honor you tonight, bro. I honor you.
Well, Tim, some pretty powerful stuff right there. You know, I'm not really familiar with the Four Horsemen. So tell us quickly, what is the Four Horsemen?
If the Four Horsemen was, of course, we go back to Notre Dame, Luke Rockney, and all those fellas, and we kind of mimicked that a little bit. The Four Horsemen was myself, a guy named Lars Tate, a guy named Keith Henderson, and you know Keith, and a guy named David McCluskey. Yeah. And when Keith and I came to Georgia as freshmen, you know, we came and established ourselves pretty quick and pretty strong. And you know, that name, the Four Horsemen, just stuck with it because they all said the commentators and all the people in the paper, like, Dooley's got a stable of horses, a stable of running backs, and that name kind of stuck. And if you go to my actually, if you go to my Facebook pictures, you can pull up some pictures.
We're showing it now, Tim. We've got the four of you guys on horses. Of course, I do know Keith. From left to right now, what we're looking at here, number 32. Who's 32?
That's Lars Tate.
That's Lars Tate. Then there's you, next one, 38. And then, of course, Keith, I think, is the next one, the second. And then who's the first one? 43?
That's the 43 is David McCluskey. Okay. David actually was a junior when I was a freshman. David played a year with the Cincinnati Bengals. Lars Tate played a few years with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And, of course, you know, Keith played with the 49ers and the Minnesota Vikings.
And also, now this picture, I guess this would be, what, 1988?
No, that picture right there actually was
85.
1980. Actually, it was 80. Yeah, 85.
85.
85.
And I guess coming shortly after that was Rodney Hampton. He came later.
Right. Rodney came in 1987. That was right after, you know, I had a knee injury, and it knocked me out for almost 2 years. I didn't play at the University of Georgia for almost 2 years. Matter of fact, a full 2 years. Mm-hmm. And that was the amazing thing, Larry, that my career at Georgia was 2 full years and 4 games.
Right. And also, you were talking there about, I mean, what was that particular event that you were at where you were speaking there, where you were talking about you were there to support Andre, or what was that all about?
Andre Smith. His nickname is Pulpwood Smith. Andre was dynamite running back at the University of Georgia before I was there. I think he was a freshman in 1983, and he was an awesome running back. And his claim to fame, the 2 years that he was there, was against the Alabama Crimson Tide, where he just gave them a fit all day. I think he had over 180-something yards rushing, and I mean long touchdowns, man. And you know, they had expected him to be that guy. And Andre, of course, got in academic trouble, and Andre, with his now, matter of fact, he just called me the other day. And Andre, his life took some wrong turns of a life of drugs and alcohol also, to the point where he almost died. He was shot. He's been in and out of jail. And we were down there through the Four Horsemen's reunion. We were also down there to support him in his hometown in Douglas, Georgia. And it was that right there particular moment there was a little banquet cookout that we had, a little barbecue that we had with all the Georgia fans, the Georgia alumni and stuff like that, people that in that town. And it was like a support of Andre Pulpwood Smith, Celebrate Recovery. He's been clean and sober now for over 3 years now, and the man is doing absolutely fabulous. And you know, every opportunity that I get to talk to him, I do, and he's doing great.
That's awesome.
So that was that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, where to go from here? You know, I saw some pictures on your Facebook page where, and you know, I read your posts all the time. That's it. Thank you, Ronnie. Where it looks like you took a group of kids to Washington, D.C. What is this all about, Tim?
Well, actually, I'm also, I work with the Boys and Girls Club of North Alabama, and I'm a mentor coordinator, and at the same time, at times I'm also a spokesperson in the area for the Boys and Girls Club of North Alabama. So we actually got together. This was something that was planned at the beginning of the year of the 2012. It's an organization called Close Up, and they back up the Boys and Girls Club. They do a lot of some of the funding, some of the events that go on all over the country. So what we actually did with this, we also have Boys and Girls Club on the military bases. We have what we call the Redstone Arsenal here in Huntsville, and we were able to take 10 kids on the military base through the Boys and Girls Club and just go to D.C., and we took the political tour. And it was actually just kids from all over the country. Larry, we had people from San Diego, San Francisco, Hawaii, New Jersey, New York, Georgia, from all over, Portland, Oregon, from all over the place. So we had about 600 plus kids and mentors from all over the country. We got together in D.C. and we did the political tour. We had a chance to speak with our congressmen and our senators, and the attorney general came and spoke at a banquet. It was just an outstanding time, and actually, I was impressed because, I had a chance to do the political scene myself and take that tour. That's why I took a lot of pictures, and because the only time I ever went to D.C. was to play the Redskins.
Sure. I
didn't go do the political tour, but it was absolutely wonderful, man. The monuments and the buildings and the Library of Congress and it was just absolutely beautiful. And I tried to take as many pictures as I could, and it blew my mind. And here's the thing: we were actually blessed to get out of there a couple of days before that storm hit.
Now, was Dee with you on this, or this is just kind of your thing and not hers, or what?
Yeah, this was through the Boys and Girls Club. My wife wasn't with me, and I wish she could have came because that was a beautiful thing to see. But that was through the Boys and Girls Club, and it was actually 4 days, man. And I tell you, it's kind of tough being away from my wife like that. I'm not used to that. And when that comes up, man, you know what I mean?
Well, I know Dee has been a really positive influence in your life and everything, but, just talk a little bit about that. When you and I reconnected a couple years ago, all of a sudden you had this incredible new lady in your life. Where did that come from? What happened?
Well, Larry, I started dating Dee.
This is a picture of by the way, Tim, we're showing a picture of you and your daughter on here.
Okay, yeah, that's my daughter.
Yeah.
So we started dating about 1988. I met Dee. You heard me talking about it when I was kind of talking at that get together. We met in the summer of 1988, and I was working out for that season, and she was competing in a national meet on the University of Georgia campus for the very first time. It's the first time they ever had a national meet on the college campus. And we just met each other. They were in the gym working out. We came in, and our eyes locked. And since that time, we started dating over the phone, and we got to know each other. And I ended up dating Dee for 3 years, from 88 to like the middle of 91 maybe. And we broke things off. Larry, I was being a bad boy. I was doing my thing, and I just, the type of person that I am, I do have a conscience.
I know you do, Tim.
Yeah, man, I can't lie to people, and I can't play games like that. And we broke things off, and the fortunate thing was, in 2009, she found me on Facebook, and we began communicating again, and it was just destiny, Larry. That's all I can say is destiny, because she was the woman for me. She's always been that woman for me, and that's why we're together today.
Wow.
And I have a lot of love. I mean, things that were there that I always knew, but I just, Larry, basically when I align myself with God, that's when He began to bring things into my life.
Wow.
The Bible says when you seek Him first, He'll add all things to you. You know what I mean? And I wasn't seeking. I wasn't out there just seeking and looking. I had to learn to spend time by myself with just me and the Lord. And I think that's some of the people's problem today is they got to be with somebody so quick instead of just spending time with themselves and with the Lord. And when I did that, not really searching, that's when it came my way.
Wow, Tim, that's powerful.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, yeah, so I got to a point where I just, you know, I love that single time that I had because guess what? I was able to sit back and just say, no, 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 okay, there she is, yes. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So.
Yeah, this picture here with you and D holding some kind of an award, I think that's some kind of Hall of Fame thing. What was this Hall of Fame induction? It was like a high school Hall of Fame or something. I don't know what it was. You know,
I'm from Robertson County, North Carolina. That's Lumberton. The county is Robertson, second biggest county in the state of North Carolina.
Right.
And they have a Hall of Fame there, Sports Hall of Fame, and I was inducted last year.
Wow, that's awesome.
Last year, and we were just holding a plaque there. There's a plaque up in the building over in Pembroke, North Carolina, that they have all the pictures and all the information in, and we were just holding the plaque there. That was actually a pretty good event. That was a time of redemption for me when I went back to my hometown.
Awesome. Well, Tim, I got a little tiny surprise here for you. You know, I'm not ready to wrap this up. We still got time here. And by the way, anybody who watching the show, you want to talk to Tim, call in. Feel free to ask away any questions. You see the number right there on the screen, right below the monitor there. Feel free to call in and let's get you on a hookup with Tim here. But Tim, you know, you and I did, you know, spend some time, you know, living together in West LA in 2004. And that was a fun time for me. You know, I had a fun job at that time, and I'd come home, and you were there, and Darrell come home, and, you know, we'd do our different thing. And we're all into different kinds of music, as you know. And I did my best to turn you on to my people, and you did your best to turn me on to your people. And, you know, one thing people may not know about you, Tim, I don't know, now that you're, you know, doing so much public speaking, do you ever break out a little bit of singing? Because you can sing, Tim. You got an incredible voice. You know it's true, Tim. I remember it was yourself and myself, and we had, I think Sam Anno was with us, and maybe even Darrell was with us, and we were at that hotel on the beach in Santa Monica. I can't remember the name of it. Right across from Shutters. And you guys started doing My Girl in the lobby, and everybody gathered around. Remember that?
Yeah.
But anyway, but the one that you turned me on to, and it really did stick with me. And I'm, you know, couldn't believe I had heard the name, but I wasn't really up on it. And you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah. Can I say his name?
Absolutely.
Sam Cooke.
Sam Cooke, you know, and you made me a Sam Cooke fan for life. And I got a little clip of Sam Cooke right here for you.
Okay.
And this is from a special that was done called the Legend Series, and it's a bio on Sam Cooke. So it's not just a straight performance video. It's a few minutes, and the few minutes I selected was about, you know, that great song. I mean, he had so many great songs, but the one that I think was the one that was your favorite song. So let's take a look at that, and this one's for you, Tim. This is for you.
Like his friend Cassius Clay, Sam was assuming a role in the civil rights struggle. He decided to deal with race relations in his music for the first time. He was inspired by the lunch counter sit-ins he had witnessed, his own arrest for attempting to integrate a Louisiana motel, and Bob Dylan's Blown in the Wind.
How many times must a man look up before he sees the sky? Tell me, how many years must the one man ever before he can hear people cry? What I want to know is, how many deaths will it take till he knows? Too many people have died. Oh, the answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer, blowing in the wind. Ha!
He really wanted to have written Blowing in the Wind. It was a song that he believed a black man should have written. He believed it was a song that he should have written. And he wrote, "A Change Is Gonna Come."
I was born by the river.
That song affects me more than any song that he ever recorded.
Oh, and just like the river, I've been running ever since.
The first time I heard "A Change Is Gonna Come," the hair stood up on my arms, you know. It just blew me away. I thought it was a revolutionary kind of a song.
He played that song and he asked me what did I think about it. And I told him, I said, man, that song feels eerie, feels like death.
It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. 'Cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky.
"The Change Gonna Come," he said, was the hardest song that he ever had to write. He ever tried to write, so that was the most difficult song.
But I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. I go to the movie and I go downtown.
He was one of the first that I remember that cut the process off and let his natural hair grow. So I'm proud of who I am, proud of who I am.
When Sam cut his natural, every brother in the country went to the natural, okay? The processes just started going out the window. Everybody went natural behind Sam.
And then the music started to become more serious. The message started to become more serious.
Then I go to my brother and I say, brother, help me please.
He had a message inside and he let it out. I think that was an indication of things that would have come had he been with us to this day.
He was telling a story. Simple words. It wasn't complicated. It wasn't repetitious. It was a poem. Great piece of poetry.
There have been times that I thought I could last for long, but now I think I'm able to carry on.
A change is gonna come. Brought up the next generation of blacks, took the old heads and gave them some pride, and that is one of the great legacies that he left.
Oh, yes it will.
Sam Cooke was no longer just a successful entertainer and businessman. He was a symbol of a new black American, proud and independent. His future seemed unlimited.
Well, there was, Tim. Were you able to see that?
Yes, sir. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate that.
No, man.
That's one of those songs, man, that it does something to me every time I listen to it.
Have you ever even considered or even thought about incorporating some singing into your public speaking?
You know what, man? Every once in a while.
I mean, you will blow people's minds, Tim. I have heard your voice. You will blow people's minds if you start singing.
Well, every once in a while, when I'm on stage or whatever, you know, just kidding around, I'll sing a few notes, sing a few lines of some songs. But you know, it's just like, you remember when we were talking about getting into show business, acting, and all that stuff.
I remember. Yeah, I sure do. Of course I do. I think we got you a diction coach, didn't we?
Yeah, we sure did. And actually, I remember I told my mom, I said, "Yeah, Mom, I'm gonna be an actor one day." My mom always said, "Boy, you been acting like, get out of my face."
I know. You've been acting a fool, right?
Yeah,
I hear you,
but,
man.
I used to, every once in a while, I'll sing a few lines, man, and you know, it's nothing. I can carry a note, but I couldn't hang with some of those folk that you see singing. That's definitely not a Sam Cooke.
Yeah.
But you know, I can do some Barry White when I have to.
Hey, listen, we got somebody on the phone. I don't recognize the name. Maybe he's one of your friends or whatever. Clarence from North Carolina. Clarence, welcome to Chilling with Larry Megan.
Oh, thank you so much. Glad to meet you tonight.
What's up, brother Clarence McNeill? My man. How you doing, homie?
I'm getting a bad connection here, guys.
Yeah, I can barely hear you.
Clarence,
I can barely hear you.
Yeah, we have a very bad connection, Clarence. It's not coming in clear at all. Are you on a cell phone?
Yes, I'm on a cell phone.
Okay.
Is this done?
Yeah, that's much better now. Yes.
Okay. All right, then. Okay, then. Yeah, I saw it on Facebook. I said I had to turn in and listen to y'all guys tonight. So.
So, Tim, who's Clarence? Tell us who this is. An old friend of yours?
Yes, Clarence is one of my homeboys. Clarence and I graduated from the same high school, but he was years before me. And Clarence was a very, very, still is a good friend, man. He was one of the guys that helped me through some things, and just one of those guys that was always solid. You know what I mean? Words of wisdom. And he actually went to school with some of you remember Ruffin McNeill, the head coach of East Carolina University. Him and Clarence are y'all classmates?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, they were classmates, and Clarence was one of those positive guys in my life. That's why we still communicate on Facebook and from time to time, and just a man of God, just a stand-up good person, and even when I was going through my stuff at the time, he was one of those guys that I could talk to once in a while, and just came around and checked on me. You know, and you got to appreciate that, man. You got to appreciate that. Strong.
Clarence, do you have a nice Tim Worley story you can tell here tonight that's not that's not off limits or what?
Well, it was a blessing to watch him run the football in high school. If y'all thought Georgia and Pittsburgh Steelers and the NFL was up there, it was just a blessing to watch him run in high school, and I thank God for that. You don't see that too many athletes with that gift that come to this area. And he was just a true blessing. I thank God for it.
Wow. Yeah,
thank you, Brother Clarence.
Clarence, thank you so much for joining the party here tonight. And any other of Tim's friends out there that want to call in and say hello to Tim, please do so. You see the number right there on the screen. Clarence, thanks for joining the show.
You're quite welcome. God bless you, Tim.
Thank you, sir. All right. All right. God bless you, brother. All right.
Thank you, Clarence. Tim, I looked on your Facebook page, and you got, I think, over 5,000 Facebook friends on there. I thought the limit, I thought they cut you off at 5,000, don't they?
Well, I can't receive any more. I can't. They've cut me off. I think I got, it's actually 5,290 something now, and I can't receive any more.
Mm-hmm.
So, I went through that period where, tons of front people reaching out.
Well, Tim, one of the things I wanted to say is in the last couple of weeks, your messages of inspiration on Facebook have really, been helpful for me. I've been going through some stuff, with work and everything, but I really am not one of those types of guys that gets depressed. I mean, for me, being depressed is just simply not being up. I don't really get like that, but nevertheless, sometimes it gets difficult. Never thought life was going to be this hard or this much of a struggle the way it is, and I've got issues with just like everybody else. Whether it's bills or paying the rent or whatever it happens to be, and work and career and all those kinds of things. And your messages have been just very uplifting, and I enjoy them. I don't respond to all of them, Tim. Okay. Because you put a lot of them out there, but maybe for every one that I respond to, I'm probably reading 10 of them,
Right. Well, Larry, I'm the type of person, I've been through a lot myself, and one of the things that I understand through studying the scripture, you just said that I'm gonna say it like I would say it. As long as we have these earthly uniforms on, we're gonna have issues. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Every single person on the planet that bleeds red blood, we have issues, and it's how we respond to our issues. It's how we respond to our problems. And in my immaturity, I didn't know how to respond to my problems. I reacted. You know what I mean? And those are the things that God taught me, that the Holy Spirit taught me, that, you know, how to conduct myself from the inside, the spirit man. And I'm not going to go too deep, but, you know, I've had a true encounter with God. And that's the only thing that I can say about that. And the Holy Spirit has taught me to have a restraint from the inside, you know, because when you, self-control is one of the fruits of the Spirit. You know, we all have fruit. Everybody's fruit is not fresh fruit. Some people have rotten fruit. I used to produce rotten fruit with some of the negative choices that I made. You know what I mean? I produced rotten fruit when I used to get drunk, cuss people out, swing at people, swing at cops, go to jail. You know, that's rotten fruit. But you know what, Larry? I learned from it. And every single person out there has it in them to lose it. You know what I mean? And we're all going to go through, we all have our moments of, you know, the Bible says there's a time for everything. You know, Solomon, one of the wisest men in the world to ever live, he said there's a time for everything. There's a season for everything. There's a season for rejoicing. There's a season for laughter. There's a season for tears. You know what I mean? And I experience those things. And as long as we're breathing, we're going to experience every feeling that there is to experience. And most people like to ignore it. But I won't ignore it. I will confront whatever I need to confront these days. In the past, I will ignore it. But all it's doing is building up. You know what I mean? And, you know, God runs the universe on the system of sowing and reaping. And you will reap what you sow. I used to say, Larry, there are two things guaranteed. That's death and taxes. You know, but a lot of people don't pay the taxes, so I eliminated that one. And so I said there's death and sowing and reaping. You will reap what you sow one day. Whether you're sowing good seed or whether you're sowing negative seed, you will one day reap that harvest. And I remember all the things that I did that I didn't know I was doing wrong. I knew some of the stuff that I was doing wrong, but the seed that it came back and haunted me. That's when I lost everything. That's when people walked away from me. That's when things began to happen. You know what I mean? And one of the things that I tell the young people today, Larry, you know, life is choice-driven. Choice-driven. God said choose life. You know, I choose life today. You know, life is it's about choices. You know, nobody can't make you do anything. You understand? It's a choice. It's a choice.
Right.
And I've learned to make wise choices. First of all, number one, I'm going to get in the Word. And I go to God with everything. Everything. And number two, I don't surround or put myself in situations where I know I'm going to fail or be tempted like that. You know, and I don't surround. I have a very small circle today, Larry. So I call it my wife and I call it a circle of trust. Well, I used to trust a lot of people, but today, not today. I've learned my lesson. I've learned my lesson, you know, and you just can't allow everybody. You know, when you hear people talking, well, I got 10 best friends. No, you don't.
That's
no,
right.
You don't.
You're right.
You know, if you live to be 50 plus years old, you will probably have 1, 2, 3 the most people that you would consider your best friend.
That's right.
You know what I mean? I call roots, branches, and leaves. You're only going to find that one root. Those are people that will stay in your life no matter what you do. And you find branches. People, when the wind blows too hard or too strong, they're going to fade too. But the leaves are those seasonal people. You get a little gust of wind, them leaves going to fall off that tree and fade away.
Yeah, I've seen some of
That's
those,
what
believe
most
me.
people are. Huh?
I've seen those, believe me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know all about it, man. And I'm just like, you know what? But, you know, I thank God that he didn't always give me what I asked him for. I thank God for saying no to me just as much as he says yes. Because he's seen my people don't understand. God goes before you. You know, he's already painted a portrait of Larry Megan. You understand what I'm saying? And it's like Hollywood when they make movies. They always make the movie they start from the end and come backwards and go all the way to the front. That's just how God painted a picture of you. And that's why he keeps encouraging us. You know, just because you having a fit don't mean that God having a fit.
That's right. Well, you know, Tim, as things are happening, right now, even in my life now, I'm doing my very best to just roll with it. I'm thinking like this is supposed to happen, and I'm operating on faith that this is what God has planned for me, and maybe in 3 or 4 years from now, or who knows how much longer from now, I'll be able to look back and see it. I don't really know where it's going right now, but I'm operating on faith. And, whether it's, I either say it's either God up above or it's my mom up there, some, it's probably one and the same, but it's like something is making all these things happen. And I'm not fighting it, Tim. I'm just rolling with it. And your messages, somehow they seem to really jive with everything that's going on a daily basis right now in my life. So I get up and I'm checking out your post every morning. I don't know if your friends are doing that, but
yeah. Well, you know what, Larry, I give all glory to God because it's him and him only. I don't care what race you are, what religion you are, what denomination you are. God is real.
Yeah.
And whether people want to believe that or
Absolutely.
not, I'm not going to go there too deep, but God is real. And I've had an encounter with God, and I know he's real. And until the day I die, one of the things I've always
totally
known,
believe it, yeah.
And one of the things I've always known and had in me is that I've always wanted to be the type of person that helped people. I love people.
Yeah.
I love people. God made me that way. God gave me my heart. You know what I mean? And I just want to be able to help people. But see, what people don't understand is when you're walking with God, he'll begin to slowly show you who you are in him. He'll reveal himself to you, but he'll reveal you to you too and show you who you are in him. And every day that we're here walking on this planet, Larry, when we seek God, we're slowly becoming what we already are.
Mm-hmm.
And see, people don't want to believe that, but it's true because that's what your spirit's going to live forever. It's either going to live in one or two places. So it's either going to live there ain't no middle ground. And I'm not going to get too deep, but it's going to live in heaven or it's going to live in hell.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We came from God. And sometimes what our spirit knows hadn't registered in our mind yet. And so what we're doing here, that's what the Bible says, renewing your mind. What we're doing, we're trying to let our mind catch up with what our spirit already knows. You ever get that hunch like you just know something?
Mm-hmm.
That's your spirit that knows. That's it knows. But see, people, they have to renew their mind. I'm still renewing my mind on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
And the revelation that I get from God and the things that I see and the discernment that God has given me, the wisdom, a measure of wisdom, measure of knowledge, and a measure of his understanding is absolutely phenomenal, Larry. I can't even explain it.
Well, Tim, that's something that, you're caring for people is something that has always been there. It's never gone away. I saw it, way back in, 89, 90. I'll bring up a little story for those that don't know. I don't mean to embarrass you, Tim, but, I remember the Pittsburgh Children's Hospital. And of course, you were donating money at that time for every touchdown you scored. I think it was it $1,000 or 10,000? I don't remember what it was, but you were you were donating money for every touchdown you scored to the Pittsburgh Children's Hospital. And I remember, being there, with her name was Roz. Remember Roz? She was like the hospital administrator, and she would coordinate these days where the Pittsburgh Steelers would come in there to visit these sick kids. And listen, I love helping people too, but I got to tell you, I'm not real good around blood or seeing sick people or sick kids. I just, it's hard for me. And most of the Steelers were the same way. They would just kind of go through, get in and out, do their part, and not that they didn't care, but it's not easy. Tim, you would stay there all day. After everybody gone, you'd be talking to those kids. You'd be, enlightening those kids and, stay there for hours and hours, way beyond the time you had to. Roz was always told me you were her favorite Steeler because of that. Parents loved you for the time you spent with their sick kids that were dying of cancer and everything else. You didn't have to do that. You talk about, how in those days, maybe the devil got a hold of you or whatever, and you were doing cocaine and all these bad things. But, your goodness always shone through, and I was there to witness it firsthand, and I saw that. And kids would follow you around like a Pied Piper, and you've always had this magic touch with kids. And
you always call me that, man, the Pied Piper.
Well, you know what it was? We remember the Friars Club, the 1990 draft. This was the year after you were drafted, and good old Doc. I mean, may he rest in peace. I was part of Doc's team, as you know, and
Right.
we put on, I pretty much put on that party at the Friars Club. And, of course, that was the draft where Steve Broussard was in the draft, Rodney Hampton. You remember old Demetrius Douglas was in that draft, too, and a lot of guys. And anyway, so I remember all these kids were there. We threw this big party for the draft day. And everybody was, watching the draft and, doing all these things. And the kids were following you all over the place. You had a trail of like 20 little kids following you all over the place, and you're playing with the little kids. You remember that?
I didn't tell you I was dropping Jolly Ranchers everywhere I walked.
Or Reese's Pieces.
I tell you, Larry, the most impressive thing about that whole ordeal was spending time with Milton Berle. Remember he was there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man. I actually interviewed him.
Well, you remember I had the cameras there, man. And I still have that footage, man. I've got the original master tapes. Now they might be ruined because they've been sitting in a storage locker of mine out in Rancho Cucamonga, out in a yard. And if God only knows if those tapes can hold up to the heat in there. But I've got the master that we used. I think it was Super 8 video and. I don't know. We had a couple of cameras, but I've got the masters, man, and I've got you on tape. I mean, you would always come right across that camera, Tim. The camera loved you, and you had a great personality on camera. There was no doubt about that. But yeah, I've got those masters, man. I've got tons of stuff out there. One of these days, I got to go visit my stuff. I've been paying $175 a month for 8 years, and I haven't even visited my stuff. But I don't want to lose that stuff. I probably shouldn't be hanging on to all these things, Tim, but I'm one of those guys, man. I just can't let go of that stuff.
I mean, it's memories, man. You know what I mean? It's good stuff.
I've got all those brochures of you in there. Now, listen, tonight, now listen, Turnabout is fair play. I played Sam Cooke for you, right? And that was your guy. But I got to say, he's my guy too now. Okay, he's my guy too now. But do you mind if I try to turn you on to one of my guys?
Yeah, I don't mind at all.
Okay.
But can I say something?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. Now, you turned me on to Chet Baker.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Are you still, you listen to Chet? You buy Chet?
Man, I pull up Chet from time to time and listen to him.
Yeah.
Chet was the man.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, if you heard the opening to my show here, Chilling with Larry Megan, that's Chet Baker on the trumpet.
Was that Chet?
Yeah. Ronnie, pull it up. Here, check it out. Just do the 10-second one, Ronnie. Here.
Chill with Larry Megan.
That's the Chet horn. He's got that really round sound. Absolutely. Well, a lot of times, Tim, what we do here on Chillin', we do a classic film zone where we literally can spend a half hour or an hour showing all these clips and everything. We feature one movie. I'm not going to do that tonight, but I did pick out a movie, and I want to show one clip, maybe two. It depends. I'll let you decide. But did you ever, in the honor of 4th of July, did you ever see the movie or hear the movie Yankee Doodle Dandy?
I've heard of Yankee Doodle Dandy and that saying, but I've never watched the movie.
Well, the actor who plays George M. Cohan, who was an American icon, he was a Broadway actor and a Broadway star, and he wrote music and everything in the early 1900s and the 19-teens. Big star. The Yankee Doodle Dandy is a biopic of George M. Cohan's life, and the actor they got to play it was James Cagney. Do you know James Cagney?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Well, a lot of times people think of James Cagney, most of his roles, with the exception of one or two prior to this movie was done in 1942, most of his roles were these gangster movies. And so he was known as this gangster with machine guns and everything, but he shocked the world in Yankee Doodle Dandy. Ronnie, let's go to the classic film zone. that trumpet player was not Chet Baker, Tim. That trumpet player right there was Harry James. But
Okay.
all right. But anyway, this is we're not going to do a big full thing on Yankee Doodle Dandy. I just got my friend Tim Worley here tonight, and like what we used to do when we lived together, Tim, we kind of turn each other on to each other's stuff. Well, James Cagney, of course, one of the great legendary actors of all time, iconic actor, of course. He won an Oscar for his portrayal of George M. Cohan in Yankee Doodle Dandy. And, of course, George M. Cohan was kind of known for his patriotic themes and always wrapping himself in the American flag. And when George M. Cohan was the one that actually wanted to make a biopic of his own life, he was still alive. He pitched the concept to MGM, and it was turned down. He went back to New York, and Jack Warner from Warner Brothers went after him and said, "We'll do it." And he said, "Okay." And they got James Cagney to play the role. And, of course, George M. Cohan was worried, how can James Cagney play this role? I'm a song and dance man. And, of course, Cagney was too, but a lot of people didn't know it. And so he actually played the role of George M. Cohan, and he danced like George M. Cohan. He actually got George M. Cohan's dance instructor to come out and work on the picture. He kind of talked like him and sang like him and everything. And, of course, he won an Academy Award for it. He was practically, channeling him. But anyway, of course, he was still alive, though. But here it is. There's a lot of different clips. I'm just going to play this one. This is Yankee Doodle Boy, and this is a play, on Broadway. Tim, if you can see it on the internet, this is James Cagney in Yankee Doodle Dandy, 1942.
Okay.
I'm the kid that's all the candy. I'm a Yankee Doodle Dandy. I'm glad I am. So Uncle Sam. I'm a real live Yankee Doodle, made my name and fame and boodle, just as Mr. Doodle did by riding on a pony. I love to listen to the Dixie strain. I long to see the girl I left behind me. That ain't a Josh. She's a Yankee, by gosh. Oh, say, can you sing anything about a Yankee that's all phony?
Little Johnny Jones, the jockey from the USA.
We'll ride the pony, Yankee Doodle, English Derby Day.
Jonesy's broken records every track at every meet.
So Yankee Doodle's gonna be the boy they have to beat.
Sportsmen of the British Isles who followed his career have offered Johnny anything to keep him over here.
But all the money in the Bank of England couldn't pay enough to keep young Johnny Jones away from old Broadway.
If you want to take a trip, the surest of sure things.
Have your houses mortgaged, hock your watches, pawn your rings.
And put it all on Yankee Doodle, Johnny Jones is up.
I'm gonna give America the English Derby Cup.
He's gonna give America the English Derby Cup.
I'm a Yankee Doodle Dandy. Yankee Doodle do or die. A real live nephew of my Uncle Sam, born on the 4th of July. I've got a Yankee Doodle sweetheart. She's my Yankee Doodle joy. Yankee Doodle came to London just to ride the ponies. I am that Yankee Doodle boy.
He's a Yankee Doodle dandy, a Yankee Doodle do or die. A real life nephew of his Uncle Sam, born on the 4th of July. He's got a Yankee Doodle sweetheart. She's his Yankee Doodle joy. Yankee Doodle came to London just to ride the pony. He is a Yankee Doodle boy.
boast, all in good condition. That's Yankee Doodle on the end, a wonderful position. Look at him rear, he's broken line, he's simply wild to run. Now they're back in line again, there's the starting gun.
Come on, Yankee Doodle, we have got the whole caboodle on you. Run, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up.
Yankee takes the lead.
Come on, break away there, show them how to earn their hay there, how to run. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Show a little speed.
At the quarter, he's gaining. At the turn now, he's reining his horse.
Go, 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 don't hold it back, let it go.
A half mark, he's cruising, but seems to be losing his lead.
Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. You simply have to win.
He'll never win, he'll never win. The other nags are closing in. He's gone to third from second place.
It looks as though he's thrown the race.
They've got him in a pocket. He can't get in the clear. They're in the stretch. Here they come. He's falling to the rear.
He's lost the race, but it's a fright.
He'll find a blinder rooster blind and clear the name of little Johnny Jones. Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. It's all over. Yankee Doodle let him down. So they'll either pasture him in clover or have him hauling rubbish in London town.
Goodbye, Johnny, we're through with you. We'll have nothing to do with you.
You've been dishonest, and we find that you be suspended for throwing a race.
I'm a Yankee Doodle dandy. Yankee Doodle, do or die. Yankee Doodle came to London just to ride the ponies. I am that Yankee Doodle
For he was that Yankee Doodle
Beaming little rose petals.
Oh, it's going wonderful, George. You got him eating right out of your hand.
My congratulations.
Thanks, Sam. It'll be great as long as those critics don't start to eat off my leg.
Oh, don't worry about the critics. You got a smash hit. It's in the air, kid. It's in the air. You can't stop anything. It's in the air.
Well, there you have it. Another guy who got suspended. Anyway, if you've never seen that movie, Tim, it's a great movie. Yankee Doodle Dandy, starring James Cagney, the story of George M. Cohan. And just like when we were living together, Tim, we were all fighting for our equal time.
Yeah.
But, listen, I was always going with the old stuff.
Yeah, I know. It was fun, though. We had a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, it was. Well, listen, it's been a great night here tonight. We're about, close here to wrapping it up. Do you have anything, you want to talk about here, you want to tell people about as far as, what you're doing out there with Global Enterprises, Worley Global Enterprises, or any words of wisdom for us here before we go?
Well, actually, I just want to, first of all, thank the good Lord, man, for just for this opportunity, and I want to thank you too, Larry, for just for this opportunity, man, and just the way you see me and the way you've always seen me, we gotta figure that stuff out about ourselves, and isn't it amazing how people can see stuff in you that you can't see in yourself? And I just thank you, man, I just want to thank you for actually being the reason why we are still in touch with each other, because you were one of the positive guys in my life, and you're just one of those guys that I could trust, and we just had that connection.
We did.
And I thank God for that, because friends are hard to find these days, Larry, and I just and I know what a friend is. I'm the type of person, and if people that are listening, you friendship needs to be earned. Just don't place your heart in anybody's hand, because people will abuse it. And, we find out that a lot of people take out kindness for weakness. And I'm just the type of person now, I will learn seriously from my mistakes. And my friendship has to be earned. And, Larry, you are a true friend. And
thank you, Tim.
And I thank God for that. And, folk, if you ever, want to reach out to me or whatever, you guys can reach me at Worley Global Enterprises. .com, and we're always looking for bookings to come in and speak at different venues, and also my Twitter ID at Worley Global Biz, so you guys can reach me there too. But Dee and I, my wife, we're going to keep pushing, we're going to keep praying, and we're going to keep coming up as high as God wants us to come up, and complete this journey and fulfill our purpose here. And I just want to say this one thing, especially to young people, because I've been dealing with a lot of young people lately. You know, I want you to have the right definition for the word success. You know, success is not about how fat your bank account is. Success is not about how big your house is. Success is not about how expensive your car is or whatever, all the jewelry and clothes and stuff that you may have or wear. Success is you having everything that you need on planet Earth to fulfill God's purpose in your life. And I'm on the track and the course to fulfill my purpose, and I'm not going anywhere until my purpose is complete. And that's what success is. So I want the young people to come out of that watching all the different things on TV, telling them what success is. That's not success. Mm-hmm. You know, Larry, you remember I said, you know, when we were growing up, we had 3 different stations marketing us with the rabbit ears on the television. Now these kids got over 800 stations marketing them, telling them what they are and what success is. That's not true. Mm-hmm. And that's my thing to young people. And you know, and I'm just grateful. I am a grateful human being. And I just learned from my mistakes, and I give all praises and all honor to God Almighty Himself. You know, because if it wasn't for Him, Larry, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't even be. I know where I would be. Right. I know where I would be, and I don't want to venture back into just the mindset ever again. So every day that I wake up, I'm grateful. That's what you see on Facebook. I'm grateful. I'm gonna encourage people. Always we got an encouraging word. I don't complain. I don't judge because you know I've been to hell and I made it back only by the grace of God. And I'm going to continue to reach out and help people as much as possible, as long as I have breath in my body.
Man, that's very touching, very powerful, Tim. And, you know, I think back to when you and I first met, you know, way back when, you know, 23 years ago, I guess it was. But, you know, at that time, I met a lot of guys. You know, I met a lot of football players, and that's the business I was in. And, you know, I'm only in touch with just a very small handful today. Just, you know, you and Darrell and, you know, I of course, Sam. But, you know, really, that's about it, you know. So it was kind of, like you said, we connected. And it was definitely, you know, something that was in you. It was a goodness there. And we definitely had a connection. And it's great that we can revisit it, you know, like we do. And I look forward to seeing you soon. I mean, we haven't seen each other since... was it 2004, really? Yeah.
Yeah, it's 2004. Hooked up in Vegas and then going back to L.A.
Right, exactly. That's right. I remember that.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. I was rolling. I was kind of rolling in a little bit of money at that time. Yeah. I remember you helped me buy my new car. In fact, I still have that car.
You really?
I still have that Expedition. Yeah. Now remember that? You remember the sound system I had in that car?
Yeah, I remember.
It was like a $15,000 sound system. When I moved to New York, the first neighborhood I lived in Brooklyn, the first summer, they scouted my car and they ripped the system out of it, and I didn't have an insurance rider on there, Tim, for the sound system, so I couldn't replace it. I got a nice system in there, but you remember. I mean, that thing came built with a system that would just blow your socks off.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't maybe as powerful as yours was in the Cherokee that you had, that Jeep you had.
Yeah.
Man, your car, I remember that. People would come, we'd pull into a mall parking lot or something, and everybody from the mall would come running out to the parking lot. They were like, what's going on? It was like a live concert.
I was very young then. They're trying to prove stuff.
Yeah, no, but you know, that car that you helped me pick in 2004, you know, I still have it. Yeah. You know, I'm ready for a new one, but you know what? It's, you know, things are tight, so it is what it is.
It'll get better. Man. There's a time for everything. Everybody has their seasons. But know this, Larry, seasons always come to an end. They don't last forever.
That's right.
And you got to keep your faith. You got to keep the faith. No matter what. That's why the good Lord says faith cometh by hearing. You know what I mean? He says we walk by faith and not by sight. You know, I don't get excited, and I'm not impressed with things that I see with my eyes. I'm impressed with God, and I believe every word that He says. I'm impressed with God.
You know, Tim,
if he said it, I believe it.
Believe it or not, Tim, I don't talk about it much or whatever, but I've always lived that way. To myself, I've always had faith. You know, I believe in fate, and I believe in destiny, and I believe in a higher power, and I believe in God, and I live my life that way. And so I'm just gonna, you know, I just kind of roll with it, you know, because I think, you know, as you say, it will be revealed to you, you know. So.
Okay.
You know.
Well, that's the way we got to be. You know, it's I'm the type of person, I don't force anything down anybody's throat. You know, one thing that the scripture says is work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. I'm not going to force anything. I will present, but you know, I don't come to convince. I will present. You know what I mean? And you got to figure it. Folk got to figure it out themselves, man.
By the way, before I let you go, man, you got to tell me how's the folks.
Mom and Dad are doing good. My mom would turn 70 Monday, and my dad just turned 75.
Wow.
75, and they're doing great. They're still in North Carolina and ticking and rolling, and it just seems like they're getting better with age. But man, I'm just very, very grateful to still have them around, and I learned so much from my mom and dad. Good people. Good, solid, good Southern people.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Tim, thanks for joining me here tonight. I really appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you soon. Much love to you, Tim.
Much love to you, Larry.
All right,
Look
man.
forward to seeing you too, brother.
All right. Good night, Tim.
Peace. Good night.
Well, you know, that was perfect timing for me to kind of reconnect with Tim, recharge my spiritual batteries, so to speak. Like I say, Tim and I go back about 23 years, and, you know, we're about due to kind of see each other again. Ronnie, let's call it a night. Let's go to our final episode of the night, Always Chasing Rainbows. Well, you know, as you kind of heard me hint at a little bit, you know, times are a little bit bumpy right now, but it's all good. You know, things are happening the way they're supposed to happen. So I picked a song tonight that, you know, just kind of feels right for the night. Ronnie, go ahead.
Smile even though
Okay, great show tonight. Thank you all for joining in. Be sure if you're new to Chilling with Larry Megan and Acorn TV, make sure you like our Facebook page, and we'll be back next Thursday night, probably at our regular time, I would think, which would be 10 p.m. Central, 11 Eastern. We went an hour earlier tonight. I did that for Tim. He doesn't like to stay up too late anymore. But that was, Tim, thank you so much for joining me tonight. It was perfect timing to have you on the show. And, we, as always, our custom is to end every show with a little Judy Garland number. And Ronnie, nice job mixing in those pictures. I like the one you ended on with Tim and Dee. Great job. So until next week, keep following your dreams. Keep chasing those rainbows. Never give up. I'm Larry Megan. Peace, love, and all good things.
Chill with Larry Megan.